Let's say I offered you a 10-day trip to the Maldives or the Bahamas. 5-star hotel, glatt kosher, shul, minyan, flights for you and a friend for $500. Would you do it?
Yeah.
10-day luxury trip. Bahamas, 5-star hotel, glatt kosher, your friend with you, your girl with you, whatever it is.
Depends.
On?
What am I giving up to get there?
Well, you can choose when you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you do that. Now, do you guys have $500 at the moment? Let's say you don't, but you'd borrow it. You'd be like, hey, it's a steal! You'd be like, hey, give, like, come on, I'll pay you back within whatever, I'll find it. And you'll borrow $100 from this person. You'd do it. You know you'd do that. You'd find $500 for that. Obvious, it's not even a question. What if I offered you a 2-month Jewish meditation and mindfulness course online with support, WhatsApp support, guided meditations, personal guidance for 2 months for $390? Would you do that? You don't have the money. Would you go and hustle for the money? You'd be like, obvious, or it's like, you give me a discount. It could be, I've got $200 now. Could I? Do you see something wrong with this picture? There's something wrong with this picture. What is going to be transformative and life-changing? A 10-day trip to the Bahamas, kosher food, or a 2-month mindfulness and meditation course teaching you how to deal with your emotions and your thoughts and tap into spirituality? Obviously, the meditation course, but no one can find the money for that. So, I've got other expenses. Suddenly you've got a 10-day vacation on the beach, flights included. It's like, I'll find the money. You get excited. It's like, you become like an animal. You're like, I'm sitting on the beach with my tequila. I'm like, whoa, get maybe a jet ski. Is that, you're throwing me in a jet ski for the 500, then I'll do it. I like, you know what, forget the jet ski, I'll do it. I'll give you 700, why not? But meditation, mindfulness course is like, I can't find the time for that. Whoa! Shalom Aleichem. Isn't that amazing? How about this? Your favorite restaurant. Eat all you like. If you're vegetarian or vegan, then it's just like a perfect vegan salads and sweet potato dishes and lentil soups and good, like, amazing bread and just amazing, like, good stuff with desserts, vegan desserts, muffins and everything. Or if you're a meat eater, you like steak, barbecue sauce, eat all you like, just with a beer. How does that sound to you? Thursday night, let's just go. And by the way, it's on me. Can you imagine, what's your favorite food? Sushi, teriyaki salmon, noodles, cholent. Can you imagine? Think about your favorite food. What is your favorite food? You know when you go to a wedding and there's a spread of like the food, and you want to be very spiritual and be there for the couple, but you just can't. You're eyeing that food. You're like, oh, I don't want to miss out. I don't want to come to the wedding late because I got those little satay chicken dipping in the peanut sauce dough, and I know I'm meant to be singing with the khatam, but come on, smorgasbord, buffet of and look at the desserts. Unbelievable. Your mouth watering right now? How about this? Tefillin. Tefillin. If you didn't put on tefillin already today, you can go and put on tefillin. Holiest place in the, or tomorrow morning. Tefillin. Which one are you more like, is your mouth watering for tefillin? Are you like yearning for tefillin? Or are you yearning for the pitmaster on Dov Ber? Wow. Amazing. How about this? Tickets to the Super Bowl. Or whatever your sport is. To the football. Spurs, Arsenal. Is it Man City, Man United, Cup final. Or end of season. It's like the tickets in the box. You got tickets in the box at your number one sporting event, and you get to meet your favorite player at the end. Shake his hand, have dinner with him. Kosher, of course. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. It's like you and LeBron hanging out. Unbelievable. It's good, isn't it? Exciting. Well, let's say not sport, your favourite music star. The music person. I can't even think of someone anymore. Dave Matthews. I like Dave Matthews. Dave Matthews. You get to hang out with Dave Matthews. Amazing. Now think of this. Gemara, Rashi, Tosfos. Ancient Aramaic text. With Rashi. Can you even imagine who Rashi is? No one learns the Torah without learning Rashi as well. That's crazy. The Arizal, the Vilna Gaon, the Chofetz Chaim, Rav Moshe Feinstein, the Rambam. Oh, no. Rambam? No one learned the Chumash or the Gemara without Rashi. Rashi's words have been put onto the words of God, literally. You've got God's words and Rashi. Chumash Rashi. Gemara Rashi. That's crazy. How much are you yearning just to steig in a Tosfos? So you got the Tosfos or LeBron James in the box? Which one are you more like? Amazing. What do you think about more? Your job? What job do I want? I want a career. I want to have a career. I want to have a decent house. I want to give my kids a good education. I want to be able to give money to tzedakah. I want to be like... And I imagine having a certain type of house, a nice car. And so you're thinking a lot about what should my job be? You know, what education do I need? What internship? I need an intern. I'll write to... my dad's friend has a friend who works in that area, so who should I reach out to? So I'm going to reach out to that person. Maybe I've got this opportunity there, and I'll Google it, a Google search. Who can find me here? How much are you thinking about your career path? How much are you thinking about God? Just like, wow. There's an infinite consciousness who created the universe and is sustaining my heart and me alive at all moments and loves me unconditionally. And trees and flowers and fruit. Fruit's amazing. How often do you just think about fruit and you're like, this is amazing. It started as this little seed, turned into a big wooden thing from a little seed. And from a big piece of wood, a mango comes. How much are you thinking about that? Much are you thinking about your career? No, I get that, Rabbi. Yeah, I get that. But come on, I got to live in the real world. Do you want to know what the real world is? The real world is mangoes, my friends, not Wall Street. Wall Street is not the real world. It is as well, kind of. You got to be responsible. But how much are you driven by money, success, career? How much are you driven by spirituality, peace of mind? Cheshbon and Hanefesh, number 12. Cheshbon ha'adam im nasho be'et hamiyat chemiyat libo v'haritzato al ha'olam b'chol hishtadloto v'tachlit tachbulotav v'sof yechalto. Where are you putting in your effort and your yearning and your excitement and your enthusiasm? Is it with this world? Are you just thinking about this world? Are we thinking about something greater than this world? What's foremost in your mind? Number one, what's foremost in your mind? Spirituality or physicality in the material world? And secondly, which one are you more excited about? And that they're very related, because whichever one you're more excited about is going to be more in your mind. Yeah.
In your experience, do you find that over time and over refocusing on the spiritual that your excitement changes, or do you feel we're naturally, God naturally made us that we get excited and challenged by those unhealthy things?
No, you completely retrain yourself. At some point you're like, I just don't care about Pitmaster. Sorry, Pit, great. I just don't care about it. How much do you think Rav Moshe Feinstein thought about food? Not once, ever. He ate food when his wife gave him something to eat. He wasn't ever thinking about food. He wasn't ever thinking about sport. He wasn't ever thinking about vacation. Now, I think there's a balance, by the way. I think there is a balance, but after a while, it's just not interesting to you. I'm just not, don't care that much. I'm going to watch the replays of the three-pointer in the last second 5,000 times. Do you know what I like watching is Mike Tyson knockouts? They're just good. He was great. Bam. But so I'm saying, you don't fully get rid of it necessarily, but at some point you're like, I'd rather not invest in that so much. I'll tell you, lots of people have heard my story. I used to be very into UFC. Conor McGregor. And I wasn't a fan. I'm scared to say that in case he sees it. I was a fan of his fighting, but not necessarily of his character traits. But once, I think Conor McGregor was fighting Nate Diaz. And I had to run a trip in Managua, Nicaragua. And the fight was, at some point, anyway, I had a connecting flight. I had to fly to Miami. I stood in the queue and I watched the fight, and I missed the connecting flight.
No way, really?
But there was a long queue, but I could have pushed towards the front of the queue. And then at that point I thought, why am I giving up my life for these half-naked men punching each other in the face? Kicking each other in the face, at least kicking a little bit. Or when you go to sleep thinking about Conor McGregor. Why would Conor do that? Well, I don't want to think about Conor McGregor, to be honest. I want to think about God. So if I'm so involved in those things that it's actually taking me away from spirituality, then it's worth getting away from that. And at some point, you're just like, hold on, I love to fill in so much that I really don't care about half-naked men kicking each other in the face as much. But once in a while, you gotta be real, you gotta be honest. But it's just like, I get so much more pleasure from learning Gemara Rashi Tosafos than going to a restaurant. I don't care about money. I want enough money to support my family. That is important to me. And I do, Baruch Hashem. But I'm not needing a mansion. I just don't need it. I don't need any. Someone said to me, what would you do if you won the lottery? You won $5 million. I thought about it. I was like, I'd buy a new tallis. Buy a nice new tallis, 500. My life wouldn't significantly change, I don't believe, if I won the lottery, because I love the life I have. I'm living the life I want. I'd just give a lot more charity. I give a lot more. I give loads of tzedakah. But it wouldn't be like, yeah, I'd buy. I don't have material aspirations. I don't want to own a house in Malibu and Paris and Rome and Jerusalem. I do, but I do. almost, in 20 years when I pay the mortgage. So your aspirations change. Not interesting to me. Someone wrote to me once on Facebook when there used to be, is there still Facebook? No, I'm not there. Anyway, your friend has invited you to play Candy Crush. I was like, he's not my friend. I wouldn't spend 1 second of my life playing Candy Crush. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? What a terrible waste of time. We spoke about this yesterday. A terrible waste of time. So fine. Effort and excitement. Effort and excitement. So this whole of number 12 is, what are you really yearning for? What are you yearning for? And how do you know what we're yearning for? We've done this 1,000 times. 2 things. How do you know what you really want? And how much effort you put in to get it. How much you think about it, and how much effort you put in to get it. So how much effort are you putting in to get the Tosfos, to understand Judaism, to understand God, to meditate? It's much more difficult to meditate for an hour than to smoke a joint. Joint's just there, bam, intense, immediate, effortless. You're great. Wow, I'm so spiritual. But it's not going to give you a long-term connection to God. You might say it is, by the way. Yes, it is. I feel very connected to God when I smoke weed. Don't judge me, Rabbi. My heart opens up and I have DMCs with God. Hits from the bottom. And I don't know if Hashem really wants you to come to Him in that state of consciousness. He gave you prayer and He gave you meditation and He gave you Torah and He gave you mitzvahs and He gave you chesed and kindness, and you come to speak to Him from that place. Just like my wife doesn't want me to speak to her when I'm wasted. I love you. I love you. I feel so deeply in love with you now. She's like, great, get away from me. Not into that. You yearning, you fight. How about this? Schnitzel day, lunch? I'm sorry, I went a bit low here. Or mincha. It's 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. Between 1 and 2, or 1 and 1:40, you have schnitzel lunch and mincha. Which one is your mouth watering for? Which one are you like? What do you plan? Are you planning it around your lunch? Well, should I have lunch first, so that then I can just get the schnitzel, because there might not be any left after mincha, and then I'll just daven? Or should I daven mincha first to get it out the way, so that I can just go and enjoy my schnitzel? Which one? Or is it, you know what, I got to daven mincha. If I eat before I daven mincha, I won't be able to daven so well because I'm digesting are quite heavy. So maybe I'm not going to eat before I daven mincha. But maybe if I daven mincha first, I'll be thinking a bit too much about the schnitzel. So you know what? I'm just going to not eat schnitzel today. So then I'm not thinking about it. So I'm just going to daven mincha, forget the schnitzel. I'll go and have salad. And maybe I'll buy a tin of sardines in the makale if I need some protein. You yearning for your mincha, or you like, come on, I go for a schnitzel, come on. But Rabbi, you need protein, it's a mitzvah to stay healthy. Okay, get your sardines from the makale. No, but schnitzel's a mitzvah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Shehakol niyeh b'dvarei. He then goes to talk a lot about money. That a pious man should ask to get the amount he needs to live a good life. I need to support my family, that's honorable and noble. You do not want to be relying on tzedakah. It's not okay. You have a responsibility and it's noble for you to support your family. But you also don't want too much money, and money becomes everything, and you're missing your children's birthdays because you're trying to make more money, and you're justifying it. You're saying, yes, but I'm making more money so they can have the best education they could possibly have. They don't need that. They need you to be around on their birthday. So you've got to get that money balance here. You want enough so that you can feel secure. But I remember when I moved to Israel, and people are saying you can't really, it's very hard to make it in Israel financially. I said, you know what, I'd rather sleep on a park bench in Gansaka than have a mansion in England. That's not my values. And I think once I said that, Hashem said, okay, so I'll give you... My first house with my wife was like smaller than this room. And I was like, I'm in Jerusalem? Unbelievable. I'd rather be in a small room in Jerusalem than in the most beautiful house you could think of. I was about to say anywhere else. I'd like Tzfat, it's also nice. But outside of Israel. Obviously, why? Because those are my values. I value spirituality. Israel is the place of spirituality. This is where I want to be. Not that there's no spirituality elsewhere, but this is clearly the place. When I studied Taekwondo, I went to Korea. When I studied Aikido, I went to Japan. When I studied yoga, I went to India. When I be a Jew, I go to Jerusalem. Tzfat. This is where Jew is. This is where our neshamas are just like, this is mamish good. I'm just like, wow. The neshama yearning for Jerusalem. The Chavetz Chaim, there's something called a tainis chalom. Have you heard of a tainis chalom? It's if you have a bad dream, you then fast the next day. So one day the Chavetz Chaim fasted, and they said to him, why are you fasting? He said, tainis chalom, had a bad dream. And they said, what was your dream? He said, I dreamt that I was very rich. Like, and his deeper answer was because it means there's some place within me is still yearning to have that. So that's really, but that's what I'm dreaming about. A very rich man came to the Chavetz Chaim. Chavetz Chaim had nothing. He had a table and a chair and a bed and his Sfarim. Very rich man traveled for 3 weeks to come and meet him. And he walked into his room, and this is the Gadol Ador, this was the greatest man on the face of the planet. And he saw he had nothing. And the rich man said to him, where's all your stuff? And Chavetz Chaim says, well, where's all your stuff? And the rich man said, I'm just passing through. Chavetz Chaim says, I'm also just passing through. This world, I'm going to start collecting stuff in this world. I'll get nervous and people are going to steal my stuff and scratch my car. You don't need to be too rich. It's not healthy for you. So here we go. This is what he says. This is a long one. It's a good one. You should see the benefits and the advantages of your spirituality over your physicality. And the mailot, the advantages, the levels of the world of spirituality compared to the levels of the world of physicality. And the exaltedness, the greatness of the soul, and the uselessness of the body. Your body is just literally an animal. It's just full of pus and blood. If you actually break it down, like you're a skeleton. You might need a skeleton, but you have some flesh and stuff, but you're gonna get wrinkled and it's gonna decay, and then it's gonna go into the ground and it's just gonna rot. And everyone's like so into their body, and even that best meal, you go for that best meal. Teriyaki salmon on a bed of basmati rice. How long does that meal give you pleasure? You eat it, and then when you eat the cake, 3 seconds over your tongue, sugar. Oh, sugar on my tongue, sugar on my tongue. That is so useless. It's so useless. But then you get a bit of pleasure for an hour afterwards. Wow, that was a great cake. But it hasn't transformed you as a human being. It hasn't done anything for you. V'ruchaniota migashmota, and the spirituality and its physicality. Va'amidata v'machalifato, its permanence and its aging, changing. Your body's just getting older. What is it? Till 25 or something? 28? After 28, your body's not getting any better. You can still keep working on it, but you're not doing much. Bikuma v'hapsado, and the fact that your neshama is eternal and your body is going to die. Upshitota, this is my favorite. Mecher chavata, the simpleness of your soul against the complexity of your physicality. Your soul is just very pure and simple. Your physicality, you're so needy and over-analyzing everything, and the world is just, your soul is just peaceful. Your mind is all over the place and complex, your soul is peaceful. But dakot atzma is very fine, refined. Your soul is very fine. Me'avayo is very gross, very heavy, and your body, physicality is just heavy. And Bhavanata, and the understanding of the mind, the intellect, mi behemoto, and the animal nature of your body. You got a rational mind and you got this animalistic body. Fine. Vikibula hamidata tavot, and it's a vessel for good character traits and the source of good character traits. Mikubulo umagam mugunot, and your body and your ego is all about negative character traits. So your spirituality is so much higher than physicality in every possible way, and yet we invest and think about and get excited about these animalistic material stuff so much more than we do about tasteless tefillin. You gotta love your tefillin mincha. Now one way, it's not what the class is about, is, because it's very difficult, because we're trained that way, is start holding yourself back in that world. Because the more you invest in it, you're just building it. It's not like, you know what, I'll just have one more schnitzel, then I'll never want schnitzel again. I'll just have one more cigarette, just have one more cigarette, and then I'll not want... No, you won't. Every time you have it, you're just building it. You're going to want it more and more and more. So there is a place for stepping away. It's called Prishut. Maybe we'll learn Shara Prishut. Wow, it's actually the next chapter. This idea of stepping away from things, even if they're allowed. Obviously you can't eat not kosher food, but you don't necessarily have to eat everything you feel like eating, because that's just feeding your animalistic nature. There's a place to hold back a little bit. Exciting. Okay, Bezrat Hashem, so number 12, this is number 12. That number 12 is, you should make a personal accounting how much you think about and yearn for and get excited about physical material stuff, and how much you think about, yearn for and get excited about spiritual stuff. Shabbos.